Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me, Lanice. Boy, I tell you, when Lanice gives your introduction, you got to come through. So I'm very excited to be here. My name is Emerald Mills. I'm the author of the book Rejection Uprooted, which you see at the top of the screen. My talk tonight is called Finding Freedom by Exposing Rejection. So my first question for everybody is, how do you define freedom? I think that is a very important question for us to ask because freedom can be defined so differently by so many different people. One way that many people define freedom is just physical freedom. And it's not surprising because here in Wisconsin, we have the highest incarceration rate in the United States. So some people might just be wanting to not be locked up. And that may be their whole goal in life, which in some cases can be understandable. I always say, I don't think I'm gonna go to jail, but if I ever do, Walmart might have something to do with it. That's just a sidebar. The second reason is financial freedom. Some people just want to get out of that job. They are waiting. They got sticky notes on their walls and on their windows with affirmations and declarations saying, I cannot wait to leave the 9-to-5 and start my own business. That was my personal testimony, but I don't have to put them sticky notes up anymore. Another reason is patriotic freedom. Now, I ain't gonna call nobody names, but we know we got the people who just refuse to wear masks or who want to protest the idea of wearing a mask. Or if you like me, you had a mask on before they even officially declared a pandemic in the United States. But the actual definition of freedom is the power or right to act, speak, or think as one who without hindrance or restraint. So what I want you to do is take just a quick second and reimagine freedom. I want you to think about freedom not as a physical state, not as leaving your job, not as being American and exercising whatever rights you think we have, but thinking of freedom of being free of the opinions and the thoughts of other people. Sounds kind of basic and something that we don't talk about a lot, which is rejection. And how much it really stifles our freedom and our ability to live and to move and to do the things that God called you to do or that you just know in your heart are right. I want you to think about really being free of what other people think and what other people have said about you or said to you or told you that you couldn't do. Some of the ways that you can become free of rejection and to really live a true life of freedom is being aware that rejection is a thing and that it's quite possible that you may be living underneath the wings of rejection. What that means is the freedom that you defined, is it a freedom that you define yourself or is it a freedom based on what somebody else said freedom looks like? Are you counting on being free because you want to prove yourself to somebody else or you want to prove that you can attain a certain level of success? Or are you really being true to yourself? So it all starts with awareness. The second step, which I have others that I won't share today, is acceptance. So once you are aware of who you are and aware of what freedom really looks like for you, it's about accepting that that's what you like. It's important to understand that you may want to be free to just vacation once a year, or you may want to be free to write, or you may want to be free to have a very basic sense of living or a simplistic lifestyle. Maybe for you, that's freedom. And for somebody else, it's not attaining some level of success. It's very important that you accept what freedom looks like for you and what's important to you in order to live in true freedom. I'm putting up this quick quote from Brene Brown. And again, there's so many other points that I can share about how to overcome that rejection. But I think that so many times rejection defines us. We are driven by rejection. We are led by rejection. And so the only way to truly experience freedom is to know that you are living a life that you define. This quote by Brene Brown says, when we define the story, when we deny our story, it defines us. But when we own the story, we can write a brave new ending.
where does your passion come from? Where does the passion come from to even share about what you talked about today?
It's funny that you asked that, Lanice, because to be completely transparent, it's still challenging to talk about rejection. So my passion comes really from a personal place. I overcame and walked through a lot of rejection in my own personal life, which I didn't really share in my presentation because of the reason I said. But I've overcome a lot of different things, and I lived on the other side of rejection for years. Just being so afraid to start things, or so afraid to finish things, or so afraid to even share my ideas because I feared what other people would think or what other people would say, or, fearing those things. And Brene Brown talks about this a lot, but fearing the different chatter from people that are sitting in the audience and not in the arena. That was so, it was just so heavy on me. But so that's where it comes from, a very personal place.
Wow, I'm just gonna, because a Facebook user says, stalling on my project seems to steal my freedom. I need to look inside and see if I'm afraid of rejection. Thank you. You guys, all of y'all did just amazing, but let me finish this off. Any lasting words for the audience, and how can people reach you?
Well, somebody said it in the comments, but they said that they wanted to write their own story and finish it. And I would just encourage people to own the rights to your story. Somebody gonna tell it. Somebody gonna have something to say. Somebody is going to judge you. Warrant a warranted judgment or a non-warranted one. Own the rights to your story. Let somebody pay you $15.99 or $20.99 or whatever you choose to charge because they want to tell your story because you wrote it. I just encourage people to do that because your story is powerful. It needs to be heard, and nobody can tell it like you tell it.
Good. And so we're going to bring everybody on just to share one last one word for tonight that you feel overall, just based upon this experience, and then I'll say goodbye to everybody. So we can go Emerald, Ed, and then end with you, Ashley.
And I forgot to say, you can find me on the number 4 diversedining.com, or you can email me at emerald@4diversedining.com.